Nope.
Hi, my name is James Roguski. I'm the moving force behind independentcongress.com. Our purpose is very simple. We're fed up with the same old from the Democrat and Republican Party, and we are supporting candidates who are running for Congress, that is the House of Representatives and the Senate in 2022, so long as they are not part of either machine. If they're independent or from some of the other parties like Green, Libertarian, Constitution, or any other party, you have our support. And all we are offering is access to information about the candidacies of various people, because we know that the mainstream media is not going to help them out. We're getting support from alternative media who are interviewing candidates and getting this information out to people so that everyone can know that in 2022, when all of the districts are going to be redrawn because of the latest census, you will have more than just the two boring choices. It's not just Democrat and Republican. You will know that you have a choice to make a change that you see fit when you go to vote in 2022. So visit independentcongress.com, get involved, and contact me anytime. My name is James Roguski, and you can reach me at 310-619-3055.
Are you ready? Break it down! Yeah!
And now, a very important message.
Sounds good.
You sound good.
I got to turn you guys down just a little bit. You guys coming just a little bit hot. All right, all right. It's time for another coalition meeting. Let's get busy. Hold up. All right, so... all right, we've assembled people from across the nation, from different parties and stuff like that. Merrick, who is this guy? Okay, maybe this is Snork. Hey, Merrick, is this Snork? No, this is my brother. Yeah, from the Mark from the Patriot Party. Yeah, awesome, dude. So today, you just jumped in. Yeah, today's actually the coalition meeting, and we have people from different parties: Democrats, Republicans, Patriot Party, and also people just who are independents. And we're coming today to see what we can agree on. Hopefully, we can. A lot of times, the duopoly gives us false choices, and it's a shit choice or no choice. But we're gonna force a third option into the equation. That's gonna be the people's choice right there. So. First, I'm going to let the people introduce themselves, yeah? I'm going to start with Scott up at the top. Yeah, go ahead, Scott. Introduce yourself.
My name is Scott Moore. I was pretty old. I'm 53 now, I believe. I spent 20 years in the Air Force. I retired back in 2007. Started paying attention to politics somewhere around Trump coming down the escalator and seeing the complete fallout of the media pertaining to it. So I got involved, started paying attention to what was going on around me. I really didn't pay attention while I was in the military because I felt that my job wasn't to be political in any way, shape, or form. My job was to provide a service for the American people.
If you want to as well, the chat is open, so you can type your information into the chat if you have any social media you want people to follow. All right?
And I am independent. I do not have my own channel. I do not. I usually just lend a voice.
Okay. Well, he's on Discord, so if you're on Discord, you might be able to interact with him in different channels and stuff. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, you're not on Discord. You were on the Tulsi Locals. Yeah, that's why I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was on Tulsi Locals, and right now I'm paying attention to Viva Barnes because I enjoy the law aspect of what's going on in politics.
Cool. Let's move on to my man, James Roguski. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey, can you hear me fine?
I can hear you well.
Okay, I'm going to try to keep it brief because I do too much stuff and it'll take too long. You can find everything I do at jamesroguski.com, JamesRoguski.com. I've done many things. Probably the most pertinent thing here is independentcongress.com. And the idea is this. There's a glitch in the system and a weak spot, a weak link in their chain of control, which is Bernie Sanders. Whether you agree with his politics or not, For decades, he got himself elected as an independent. You can argue whether he's a Democrat or he's a true independent or whatever, but electorally, he ran for Congress and then he ran for the Senate as an independent. He essentially said to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, "Don't need you. I'm Bernie Sanders, and I'm here to represent the people of Vermont." And he was successful in doing so. The requirements for getting on the ballot for independent as a congressional candidate or Senate are not easy, but he is living proof that it is doable. Okay, now in 2022, and it still remains to be seen, there's supposed to be redistricting based on the 2020 census, and so there are, the latest guess is that there's going to be 10 districts around the country that shift from one state to the other, which means all of the districts in any of those states are going to have to be redrawn. So redistricting / gerrymandering is about to rear its ugly head. And, quite frankly, people, if you ask them, yeah, some people are partisan Democrats, some people are partisan Republicans, other parties, Libertarian, Green Party, Patriot Party, whatever it might be. But the vast majority of Americans, or I should say the vast plurality of Americans, have had it with political parties. And so I started independentcongress.com to support people who are not Democrat and not Republican. If you're a Democrat or a Republican, you don't get a place on independentcongress.com. If you're involved in any other party, or if you're truly an independent, no party preference, be happy to support people. I disagree with many of the policies of the people that are listed on my website. I do not censor them. They are there because they're not a Democrat, they're not a Republican. I may agree with some of the things they say, I may disagree, and I think that's part of what Ed wants to talk about today. We can agree to disagree on some stuff, while we can agree that the biggest problem is that our political system is under the control of really, it's not a duopoly, it's a monopoly. The Democrats and the Republicans are not all that much different. It's a false choice, and I'm here to try to support people who are offering another choice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love my man James Roguski. Now, it's time for one of the baddest ass dudes on that I know in the activism game here in New York City. It's Mark Safman. He's amazing. He's a disability. Now, he put some stuff in the chat right there, so if you're online, you could look at that, but I'm going to let my man speak right now. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, thanks, Ed. I am, I'm 51 now, and I lost my hearing in 1986 when I had brain surgery, and my vision started to go bad, or change. It's blurry. When I was a little older, and I became an advocate after getting fired from one too many positions over accommodations. Essentially, I will talk with any politician. They're all pretty bad. And, I just started talking to politicians when I went to work for one company. And because I realized that the problems I was facing at that one company were just phenomenally related to the laws. And so I've been talking to New York City, New York State, and federal elected people. I was just trying to reach the candidates, explain to them the very basics about accommodations. There are about 50 million people who are hard of hearing, and they all really could benefit from captions. Yet, if you look at the debates that go on, there's no captions, and it's really hard to participate in discussions when you can't hear. So it's kind of like, hey, you're progressive, you're trying to reach out and organize the community to get your viewpoints across. If you're not doing basic WCAG website design, which is private industry standard, yet all the private industry companies look the other way. The lawyers are very happy with people looking the other way because it's cheap lawyer subsidies for them by filing these totally stupid, useless lawsuits. And there's a lot of get along, go along advocates out there who are kind of like, oh, let's form a committee, let's form an advisory committee. And, we have people like Victor Calles in New York City who, I've, I've seen him talk on some events. And it's just kind of like Victor. When I get an email from one deaf-blind individual who says that they reached out to Moped specifically to get help during the pandemic, and your office couldn't help this guy, and he had to move out of the city, you know, people need to be fired, and we just don't have the awareness, because it's. I mean, you can't do anything without a website, and so the concerns of the disabled community, they're really like basic. And you have to start with the website, and then you can start including people. And when you start including people, you find out that we do have opinions on how things are done, and particularly for you know moving away from defense spending,
We yeah we
military
yeah
spending, and all that.
we
We're really,
absolutely
really
must.
people who are going to support you. We don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. We just want you to be consistent and listen to us. And that's something that really does not happen. I mean,
Ministers,
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to hear back from
Excellencies,
Jimmy
distinguished
and Nico.
delegates,
Have been blown
ladies
off
and
by
gentlemen.
Fiorella. I mean, she gave me
Welcome
some
to the
nice comments,
second session
but it's kind of
of
like,
the Leadership
no
Dialogue
one
of the
pays
United
attention to
Nations
disabled issues.
Environment Assembly.
And, Ed
As you
here,
know,
He
the
called him
focus
out. He called him out. Oh god
I'm
damn!
trying to reach
It's a
out.
crazy
Trying to
time right
help
now.
you.
Yeah.
is
Oh, did you know
So,
about the recent blow up
here's
with
that.
Convo Couch and Kyle
for
Kalinske?
sustainable development to building
That
a
was crazy.
resilient
Yo, Mark,
and
there's some kind of noise in the
inclusive
background, man.
post-pandemic
Do you hear
world.
some kind of noise in the background?
Today's
Maybe the
dialogue
TV's on or
will
something's going
provide
on.
leaders and ministers of
Mark,
environment
can you? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you guys heard that noise, right? Anyways,
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to my man Alan Bell over here. Yeah. By the way, Mark is actually awesome. He's actually helped so many different candidates with disability issues. A lot of these candidates, you can tell that they're not going to help vulnerable communities when they overlook the disabled. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Go ahead, Alan.
Yes, my name is Alan Bell. I do a channel, Trotsky Bust. I haven't been active lately. I was going to do one today or tomorrow. It's funny that you called to this. I'm kind of jaded. I've had a channel for 4 years. Used to belong to the Green Party. I've kind of given up on them. I'm all in on that independent. Maybe we can find somebody who's good. I always fear about the Democrats, Republicans just taking over the third party as they did the Green Party. So that's basically where I am right now. I haven't been politically active in a while. Like I said, I'm kind of, I don't know, down. Maybe it would have been better if Trump would have won because we could have attacked him. But I just fear that now that Biden's won, and Biden's done nothing as far as I'm concerned. And we just haven't been holding his feet to the fire. So that's what I was going to talk about in my video if I do one today or tomorrow. But that's about it.
Once again, that's Trotsky or Bust. Alan
Yes.
Bell, friend of the channel. Thank you so much for coming by today. I'm deeply grateful for your participation and everybody who showed up today, man. Yeah, one love. Yeah, now we're going to go on to my man Demetrius Wilson. Very cool guy, local New York City native. We're going to definitely get in some business together. Go ahead, Demetrius.
Yeah, can y'all hear me? Just want to make sure.
Yeah, I can.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Demetrius Wilson. I guess this is going to be the first time I announce this publicly. I was running for City Council District 9 in the wake of the primaries. The best of the bunch, aside from me, actually won the Democratic primary. Kristen Richardson Jordan. She beat the incumbent by like 100 votes, which is incredible. Like, because he had the engine behind him. He had the party engine behind him, and she did not. She was basically an independent like us. It's just running in the Democratic primary is your best shot here in New York City. And she won. And so I am stepping down. I was going to run as an independent in general, but I wouldn't be much better than her, and leftist infighting is like our biggest problem. I'm not going to put myself head to head against another leftist. I'm going to now join her campaign. I'm going to be serving as a community advocate of sorts. But this isn't the end of my political aspirations. I'll be running for another office, perhaps a state office or something like that. So I'm still going to be around, but you know, I'm still here. You know, I'm still about, you know, trying to build that better future. I'm gonna do whatever I need to get there. So I guess for those watching, I don't know how many of you there are that were, you know, at the edge of your seat about that. For me, there you go.
By the way, can you in the chat, right? Can you type in your information? Maybe like you have a website, people could follow you, your social media. That goes for everybody, yeah. You know, definitely want people to find out about, find out about y'all, yeah. Demetrius, you always have some powerful words. I love what you said. You could keep going on. Is there anything else that you want to say? I didn't want to cut you off. I just want to make sure that people get to, if they're interested in what you have to say, obviously someone's going to be involved. By the way, I will help you run for House of Representatives and that independent Congress thing. I think it would be a great idea, and I think that's exactly what you should be doing. You should be joining her campaign and learning and getting to know the community. That's the best thing you could do right now if you're serious about this. That's the best thing you can do. Props to you, man. I agree with that 100%. Anything else?
Yeah, real quick. First of all, I agree. You know, like I said, it was never just about power for me. I was running because I felt it was a necessity. Somebody had to come in and do the right thing. And I'm confident Kristen will. That's why I'm joining her campaign. Mark, specifically, if I can't, like, I don't have the most clout yet. Like, you know, it's a recent development where I joined up with her. But yeah, she beat Bill Perkins, and if I can, I'll definitely introduce you to her. I'm 100% certain she'd be the same as me. Like, you know, we've had those discussions about advocacy for disabled people. I'm confident she's on the same wavelength, you know. So she'll do a good turn for all of us. But yeah, I'm gonna put my information in the chat in a second. But yeah, that's my status right now.
All right, I could get down with that. I will see. I'll keep investigating her, yeah? Now, by the way, I'm going to call two people right now before I introduce my next man right here, yeah? Polish American Brotherhood was supposed to be here today. Tara P. Where is she at? I hope maybe she'll be here later. You know what I mean? But definitely my man Mark, thank God for coming, yeah? You still with the Patriot Party?
I mean, in spirit, I never officially renounced the Republican Party.
Well, this is my boy Mark right here. He's going to introduce himself. He's the man. Thank you for coming, man. I really appreciate you being here. I wanted a right-wing presence here today so that we could really just be all together. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool what you're doing, bringing everyone together. Yeah, as Ed said, I am a conservative. I supported Trump. Yeah, I was thinking about branching out to create a Patriot Party, but it hasn't developed yet. There's a lot of chaos in the political world. I want to just briefly touch on two issues that are important to me. And I guess maybe we can start with election integrity. So actually, I worked on these pamphlets to boycott Coca-Cola. I believe election integrity is really important. I don't know if you guys are for voter ID or not, but I believe it's necessary just so that we know like who's actually voting for what. Another thing is, I think you saw in a Democratic primary, there was, the votes were off by 120,000 votes. They included some, I don't know what, but I don't know the last time you got 120,000 extra dollars in your bank account, but, you know, these mistakes, I don't think they're all coincidences. Either that or there's something really fishy going on in the way that votes are counted. So to me, like, election integrity is really important. I don't want corporations getting involved. That's kind of where I stand on that. As far as New York, this is maybe something that gets more bipartisan support. It gets a lot of support across different groups. There's a group called Citizens for Free America, and they're basically fighting against mandatory vaccinations. So again, I don't know where you guys stand on that, but that's a really cool group. I think Ed's been to some of these meetups. They get pretty crazy. We went to a Bruce Springsteen concert a while back. We got all kinds of press. But you know, even if you're for the vaccination, like you think it's a great thing, you think it keeps people healthy, that's fine. But I don't think you should be for mandatory vaccinations, and you know, you just don't want to give the government, the centralized corporations, the government too much power. Otherwise, they can take advantage of it. And so that's about it. I'll bring up today. So election integrity is important because we want to know when we vote, whether that vote counted, that the right person's getting into the office or the right initiative is getting passed. And yeah, in New York, there's a very cool group. It's
Hey, I just want to. Yeah. You texted me something just before this, a very specific number, right? Yeah. How many were the votes? What was wrong with those primaries again? What happened there?
If anybody else wants to chime in, but I don't know, maybe there was less than 1 million. The Republican primary was tiny. I voted in the Republican primary. That was like 50,000 people or something.
Right.
Democrat primary is huge, and that's also going to be basically who wins, right? Because it's a Democrat city. I think there are something like 500,000 votes in the Democrat primary, just off the top of my head, less than 1 million. So let's say
Bloomberg won as a
500,000.
Republican. You never know. Bloomberg won as a Republican. Giuliani won, so you never know. Yeah. Not saying that. Yeah. We'll see how it shakes out. We don't know. Yeah.
This guy Curtis Sliwa has very good independent credentials. I think he was always a member of he was always like an independent. He's part of the Reform Party, I believe.
Let's see what's up.
New York politics.
Anything can happen.
So yeah. But anyway, the Democrat primary, I think out of like 500,000 votes, they added on another like 120,000, and those were supposed to be like training votes or some shit, like because there's a new system. So like, oh, here's some practice votes, and those ended up getting into the final tally. And then they weren't sure if Adams had won. And Adams, I think, is more like of a populist guy. And so, like, what are they trying to do again? Like, take the populist out, put some Democrat machine operative in? I don't know. Maybe, you know, if there's some Democrats on here, they might know more about the machine.
Can I chime in on that?
Please.
Just to clarify. So first of all, that snafu was just fucking stupid. But yeah, they were testing out the new systems. And they had a bunch of their dummy votes still in the system that were being tallied as the real votes were being counted. That's part of the reason why it took like 2 weeks for them to actually get the final count for the mayoral vote count, because they had to go through and weed out those extra couple 100,000.
Just a couple 100,000, just a couple.
Or
it was literally like 140,000.
I think it was like a round
180.
number.
I had 180, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So
180. I think 180 is like, I'm rounding it up to 200,000, but it was like stupid. Like it was like, I mean, if you could look at the data and it's like, yeah, that was the issue, and that's a severe problem.
Yeah.
But I can say for sure it's not like they were targeting Eric Adams. If anything, they preferred Eric Adams over everybody else.
If you're watching this right now, there's a lot of progressive YouTubers out there that are not covering this issue, and it's, you know, some of them are covering at least this issue, but there's so many other issues that are going on. And I encourage you to branch out and start watching new content producers, and some of them are here today. I hope you guys all start making videos. Once again, trust to get bust, jamesruguski.com, Mark Saffman. I don't know if we're producing stuff. I know Demetrius has his own website. Mark, you got anything? You got any? How can people follow you? Nothing.
I'm out here, man.
Just out here.
If you just see me around, just say what's up.
All right.
Right now, there's nothing really for the public other than check out these groups. Check out Citizens for a Free America.
Okay.
If you're against vaccine passports, if you're against mandatory vaccinations.
Appreciate that. We will get to that today.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about
Now I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. The co-host. You guys, maybe you know. You have to go way back with me to know about Lisa. Yeah, aka Permaculture Mom. Go ahead. Let him know. Lisa, I think you're muted. Go
Hey,
ahead.
what's up, everybody? Long time. Oh, it's so good to yeah, just I think I'm the only mom here, and really interested in all kinds of issues, particularly education, you know, children's welfare, family issues, you know, black mom welfare issues. Since I consider us the canaries in the American coal mine, so just been working on on an educational website just recently, and getting that to launch. I don't. My views, especially here in California, are a bit controversial. My son is dual enrolled in high school, and he's in college. He's in a community college, and pushed to get vaccinated. And in the community colleges is really strong. And what I'm hearing is that there's a lot of vaccine injuries, and no one's reporting them. And so these kids, what I'm calling kids, these young, teenage, early 20s, students are, saying in the classroom, oh, I got the vaccine, I'm so sick, I feel terrible, I don't know. And the professor saying, you need to go to the hospital, you need to, and so, but these kids, they don't have health care. Yes. So they're afraid to go to the hospital. They got the vaccine because they were pressured, and now they feel really bad. They're having heart palpitations. They can't get out of bed for days, weeks. And this isn't being reported, and it's extremely frightening to me that my son is going to school. He's a high school student. He was 14 when he started. Now he's 15. I'm really afraid that if he gets back on campus, they're going to make him, or they're going to talk him into getting vaccinated.
Well, it sounds like we have a lot of agreement on this.
Without my permission. And so this is considered, in the environment here in Los Angeles and California, heretical, and yet they're completely dismissing the health consequences of this, the health consequences.
Yeah, it's disturbing. 100%. Yeah.
I just at least acknowledge it, at least show the true data of what's happening, at least saying hey, the vaccine is problematic, but maybe it's better than COVID, but here are the things that you can do to mitigate the side effects. They're not getting anything. They're just saying, get it, and then you won't get COVID. And then people are getting the vaccine and getting effects that are worse than COVID.
Even death.
There's a report of some teenagers. I only have one child, and I've been hearing about reports of teenagers dying, 13-year-olds having heart attack that were normally, that they were athletes, and now they have heart conditions like a 60-year-old man. I just, this isn't my only issue, but it's become kind of front and center because school's going to start again in about a month. Yeah. And my son loves going to college.
Besides, right, I just want to chime in for a second. Permaculture Mom, for me, Lisa, is so awesome because she's a true activist in the game. And the thing is that she's also involved with an organization called Color of Change. I know she does some work out there. People talk about the People's Party, Green Party, Libertarians. They're about 200,000 strong. Color of Change is 8 million strong, yeah? Maybe even larger now, yeah. They dwarf, right? They dwarf some of these things that are in the conversation that people are paying attention to. These community groups, right, are a big part of the plan. So if you guys are part of your own groups, right, we can all come together today, right now. Besides that, I know also, obviously, she's into permaculture. And I really, she's been busy with her educational firm that she's been working on right now. That's why you haven't seen her on my channel. She is my co-host. Still, you see her on the end of all the videos. At some point, we'll get back together. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to give people, like your website, anything in the chat or say?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to, come off as if I'm anti-vax. It's just that I've been listening to a lot of doctors who are saying that they're getting tons and tons of patients now.
We'll probably do an episode on that issue, but today we're really here for the coalition.
I just letting people know that this is kind of the kind of stuff that I'm working on lately, but mostly, my issues are educational. I'm actually developing an online educational platform to basically be very motivating for unmotivated students. And I was a teacher for many years. I still consider myself an educator, and going all in on this education platform. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's called Hyperion Academics, and I'll put the
Lisa's great. She's nonstop. She keeps going. She's very strong. A very strong partner. I made him my co-host.
If you need an exemption for your son, check out that link, citizensfree.com. They're helping people who don't want the vaccine make sure that they're covered, their legal bases are covered. You can get an exemption for your son, get a religious exemption. There's options, but like you said, this is like the most hot button issue. They're censoring it so hard. I was just looking for some videos to send over to somebody in a different country, different language. I can't find anything that there's hardcore censored.
Well, I have family in Australia. I have friends in Europe and stuff, and in Asia, and I just think that we're going to have another lockdown. I mean, speaking for California, I think that we're going to have another lockdown. I think it's one of the reasons why Newsom, who's actually in a recall election right now, they stepped up the recall election. They were going to have it in November. They brought it up to September 14th, and I think the reason why they made it earlier is because he's planning another lockdown, and there's absolutely no way he would win if we were locked down. So I think that he's planning to do it after the election. So.
This is a great time for me.
Hey, Jim,
yeah.
can I jump in here?
By the way, if this wasn't on your radar, Caitlyn Jenner is also running. It's like she's probably gotten some attention because she's also running in this election. Remember, the last time we had a recall election, that's how we got Arnold Schwarzenegger as our governor. He never got 50% of the vote. In a recall election, you just say yes or no. Whoever wins the most votes, it doesn't matter. Someone could win by 20% if enough people are running. So Caitlyn Jenner could be our next governor. We'll see.
Newsom and Pelosi, same as Cuomo. Those families have been in power for like generations.
All right. Well, did I lose you guys? Hello, can you hear me? Well, I seem to have lost something. Well, I think that was bad. Yeah, we spent too much time. What happened there? Anyways, yeah. Yikes. Okay. Well, let's get back to the business hand. So let's send this back. Okay, so that's going to be towards, let's see. All right, let me just